All right, I wanted to film me actually doing the work, but I ran into some problems, so I'm just going to talk about it. You got two plugs on the rear differential, the top one and the bottom one. The top one is the one you're going to use to fill it with. The bottom one, obviously, you're going to drain the fluid with. Loosen the top one first to make sure that you can refill it once you drain it. You don't want to drain it and not have a way to get fluid back in there if that one is like stuck on there. It's a tight fit between the exhaust and the differential. So keep that in mind. You're going to need this 75W90. You get 1 quart bottles. This little squeezy bottle from AutoZone works really well for filling up the differential. As for the transmission and the front, it's going to be that T70 Torx nut there on the bottom. And then on the top, under your engine bay, you got the dipstick there, a little gray dipstick. It's got a low and a full and then a couple bars in the middle. Mine was low. So good thing I was doing this, but also I just wanted to change it because it had been quite a while. So that's the top. You can check the dipstick, and that's where you're going to fill it. And then on the bottom, don't mind my rusty exhaust and my rusty undercarriage. On the bottom here, you're going to see the little Torx. It's that black little nut there. Got a little grease on it. But yeah, you're going to need a T70 Torx driver to get that out. And then about 3.5 quarts of the same fluid. It's the same exact fluid as the rear diff. So you can either get like, multiple bottles of the squeezy thing, or you can just do a big old 4-quart bottle for the front. You technically need 3.5 quarts for the front and 0.8 quarts for the rear diff, but there's still a little like residual oil in both of those places. So total, I only used 4 quarts total. That being said, the rear diff using the little squeezy bottle was super easy. For the front, I had to get like a tube and a funnel and pour oil down from there. So keep that in mind. And that's the old oil. I got these ramps on Amazon. I actually didn't buy them for this. I bought them to do oil changes. I used to just drive my car up on some boards, but these were a little higher. These were about 2.5 inches. They're still a pretty low profile, but about 2.5 inches versus my old boards, which were like maybe 1.5 inches tall. So this gives me a little more room. I bought them for oil changes. They worked out for the differential. It was a tight squeeze, but I made it work. I didn't have to get my car up on jack stands to do this. So something else I just want to reiterate is that it is a pretty tight squeeze between the exhaust and the rear diff. And so my initial plan was I was going to use a impact driver to get those 1/2-inch bolts off, but it wouldn't fit. So you're going to need like a 1/2-inch breaker bar to probably get those off, or just a 1/2-inch socket wrench to get those bolts off. But a driver, like a battery powered driver, is not going to fit in there. You're going to need a wrench, and the distance between the diff and the floor, or like the driveway, whatever you're in, is not a lot. So either back the car up onto some ramps for that, or just know that you're not going to have a lot of room. Like I had a breaker bar, and I could do like 1/8 of a turn on the breaker bar to get it loose. And that's all I had. And then I had to get in there with a socket wrench to finish loosening it. But it was still pretty tight. So just know there's not a lot of room. Good luck. This is all very easy. It's for less than $90. I did my rear diff and my front differential and transmission fluid way cheaper than what a shop's going to charge you.